Welcome, Deviant Drivers. Another episode of A Drink with a Driver. How y'all doing? Everybody good?
We're good. Not really.
Everybody, everybody's healing, I suppose.
I'm fine.
You're fine. Okay.
Well, yeah, because I hopped out of the driver's seat yesterday and hopped into a 2-year-old birthday party with kids running everywhere. So that's kind of like my calisthenics after exercising was I kept moving because I was chasing kids all over the place.
Nice. Nice. Okay.
So I'm
All
good.
right. Yeah. So, we've got kind of an injury report developing in the discussion board. And so I think we're up to Zen's spirit fingers are hurting, I think is what I think he reported. Anatole, thankfully, has not reported any carpal tunnel this time.
Yep.
Uh, I was having a traditional, just light shoulder pain. You
Yeah.
know, that pretty much worked itself out already.
But give it a couple of days. I think last time it took about 2 or 3 days for the injuries to come through. And then we started seeing the wristbands and the shoulder braces and you know
Yeah, yeah, the legit
band-aids.
injury, legit
Yeah, I'm
injury.
good. No
But
worries.
through it all, we have to congratulate our winner, Victor, for winning at Spa. Congratulations,
Congratulations.
sir.
I was so pissed.
Job well done.
Yeah, job well done.
Yeah, it
What are you
was
drinking to congratulate? Are you drinking wine,
no,
Miller Lite,
just Coors
Coors
Light.
Light?
Yeah, I didn't
So,
win, so it's not like
no, to celebrate his win. Here's what I'm celebrating.
I had I had pizza last night for dinner. How was that? Oh, see,
See, it was too scripted had I done it last podcast. Everyone would have saw it coming. Glovis went for it. Obviously, everyone saw it coming. This is the week that we break in to the Starry in all these rocks glasses. This glass holds a bottle of wine, apparently. So my wife says.
a whole
She would
bottle.
know. Yeah, a whole bottle. Yeah. So we're gonna go with Starry. The reason we're going with Starry, because again, it was kind of scripted last time. But Anatole allowed me on his team yesterday, which he's former Starry compadre. And then on top of that, Glovis lasted the whole 3 hours,
He did.
which I was proud of him for that. So because of that, 1 can for Anatole, 1 can for Glovis with a funny little straw with a little Mandalorian on there. Now I don't have to pick it up because it's huge. God, that's horrible.
So that's
Takes like half of
two cans of Starry. Hold it up so everybody can see. That's 2 cans of Starry in a glass. Yeah, that's what.
yeah.
Six.
Here's my cell phone, if that's any comparison. Or here's the mouse of my computer. Now you have perspective. I could have done it this way. Wait, how would I do that? I would do it this way. Yeah, look at the comparison between the two. Like camera tricks, guys. All right, I'm done. Sorry. I almost dumped this on the laptop. That would suck because it's a work laptop. But
Yeah.
no, cheers, Folgore. I should just load it up on what Victor. Good job.
Victor, congratulations. I had a pizza for dinner last night. Probably wasn't up to your standard. I know he had pizza last night too, as well for dinner. He posted a picture of his dinner. It was pizza and like a hot dog appetizer or something.
I didn't see that.
Yeah.
But again, I was chasing 2-year-olds around.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're good. How'd you do?
I finished third.
Yeah.
And looking at the results, we'll go take a look at our leaderboard. So the finishing order for the day at the endurance track, which was Spa, and in F1, in case you weren't aware, we were driving a 2023 It was the F1 type car, the new one that came out with the update. So the first place obviously goes to Fulgore or Victor. Second place was to Junkai. Congratulations for your second place win, victory, or second place runner up podium. And then third place I took, and then following me was Besso, then Thrasher.
Yep.
Congratulations, Thrasher.
No, good job for. I mean, Besso did a good job too, but Thrasher hanging up in there, P5, like he's a quiet contender.
He is. You very rarely hear from Thrasher. The only thing you hear is that sound, that vaping sound, that.
That's when you know he's in the pits, when you hear him vaping.
Yes.
Yeah.
So after Thrasher was Zen, my teammate with Team Ferrari.
Yep.
Then Bad Rock, which was his first. This was his first appearance in a endurance race. I know he had a good time, enjoyed it. Chaotica. There's Glovis.
Yep.
Then Camzilla, again, another first appearance.
Dude, that's a hell of a way to break into a league, is with a 3-hour endurance. So seriously, props to him. We know he's hooked. Either that or he's injured and never coming back.
And then followed by Golden, and then Berman and Maxwell or Anatole, which unfortunately had a catastrophic engine problem early on in the race.
We had 2 DNFs, Berman as well.
Berman had a DNF as well. Okay.
Yeah. His setup overheated or just stopped working or something like that.
What setup is he using?
Yeah. I don't know. No clue.
We'll have to talk to him.
I mean, of course. I mean, I don't know why you have a Clemson Paul on your shirt. It should be a Fanatec.
They haven't sent me a shirt yet.
Give it time. I think it's in the mail. I think buy 10 wheels, get a t-shirt free or something. Oh, excuse me, polo shirt free.
Yeah, we don't do t-shirts. We don't do t-shirts. So the points total for the top 3 is myself. I am leading in the endurance league with 33 points, followed by Junkai with 30.
That's close, dude. The fact that hold on, let's go back to the race for a second, and I know we'll talk more about it, but 3 hours and you finished within a second of me. I did screw up, but nonetheless, doesn't matter. It depends on what time you get across the line. So that's just insane.
It is insane. We were at the end of 3 hours, we were so close. I believe I was about 10 or 12, maybe 15 seconds behind Fulgore. So it was, the 3 of us were within a bad mistake of that all changing. It almost did.
It did prevent it, but we'll get to that in a second. But
we will.
Yeah.
So first is myself with 33 points. Second is you with 30, and then we have a 3-way tie for third.
Hell yeah!
Zen, Thrasher, and Fulgore. That win, even though he had a 0 on the first race, and we don't drop anything in this series.
No.
So even though he had a 0, that win propelled him to a tie for third overall.
Right. Nuts.
Again, job well done. And he's only 13 points behind me in the lead. So, so yeah. So speaking of the race, let's talk about, because that's what this episode, guys, is going to all be dedicated to, is the endurance. We'll talk about a couple other things that are unexpected maybe, but mostly this is going to be all about the endurance race. This is a big thing. It only happens a few times out of the year. And it's really, in all honesty, congratulations to everybody that participated, because just the fact of finishing is a win in and of itself.
No, 100%. Like, it takes commitment.
It does. It doesn't sound like it does, but it really, after the first hour, you're like, okay. And then you're like, the second hour to me is the most torturous. Is that how you feel?
I mean, yeah. I mean, you're you're in a dead zone typically. You're not racing usually around anybody. They're just monotonous laps over and over and over and over again. And then I don't know about you, but I sit there and just question the strategy over and over and over. Like, is this working? And then for this race, and I know you guys heard it, but like when I got up into my room, I turned the AC on low, but like halfway through the race, I was sweating bullets. Like, I don't usually have sweat dripping down my forehead. Like, I was sweating. So when I hit that pit stop, I ran over to the AC, and that's when I hit the dog toy. And you heard that it's actually not a dog toy, but you heard that squeak. You're I should have brought it down so I could show you what it was. Because anyway, but yeah, I ran over there quick, turned it on high, hit the squeaky toy, got back to my seat, hopefully hoping, and I did make it. But yeah, I was sweating bullets, man. Like, I was not doing well.
It is. It's a bad. I know Zen probably went through about what 2 or 3 or 4 shirts. Probably.
Yeah.
He probably changed shirts every time he changed tires. Right.
Right.
He's just like, give me another set of tires, and I'm gonna need another shirt. So, because I was sweating through too. Like, I turned on the fan system on the rig about halfway in. The problem for hour 2 for me is that I always see is it's like you're an hour down, and that's like our normal time. It's pretty accustomed for us to be in the rig for an hour straight. Not a big deal. You get in that second hour, and you're like, man, and you're looking at the clock, and you're not halfway yet. So you're farther from the end than you are from the beginning. And you've got all this time left. And it's kind of like you're sitting there thinking, same thing. You're just going over the strategy, figuring out whether you've got this right or not. And then hour 2 seems the longest. And then hour 3 seems to almost just click by. And you're at the end before you know it. And you're trying to get that race wrapped up.
Yeah.
So let's take a start to finish. Starting with the start. I had an excellent qualifying time. I didn't get to pole.
I did not.
You did not, but
No.
I did. I qualified second.
Yep.
And I had a massive screw up right off the line. So, guys, if you don't know, or some of you do know, or if you have either the McLaren wheel or the Formula wheel behind me, either one has a dial, and you can dial that in and use the paddles on the bottom to activate your handbrake. I did that. However, what I forgot to do was activate the handbrake on the wheel, and I revved the engine, and I had time because I thought that as long as I had it depressed before the timer ran out, I would be okay. That is actually not the case.
Nope.
And the car lurched, so I had a penalty. So right off the bat, I went from second to like 11th or 9th or 10th or something.
Yeah. No, my qualifying, I could not get the car locked in at all. Like, I mean, you saw 155s out of me on mediums. Same thing. Glovis saw 155s out of me on mediums, and coming off the straight, that first turn, every single time I had severe understeer. I always take that turn in 4th gear. I could not take it in 4th gear yesterday at all. I don't know if it was temps. I don't know, but I could not get that turn down at all. And then every turn after that, I had such horrible understeer on softs. Like, I could not get it locked in. And then, in those cars, when you get off the track, like, for the next half a lap, like, you're feeling the effects of that. So I started, I don't remember, 7th or 8th, I think, or something like that. And that was brutal. I was like, this is gonna be tough. And then so turn 1, well, not turn 1, but you go up the little S turn, and then all the big S turns. But then there was just chaos, and I somehow wiggled my way through. I didn't hit anybody that I remember. But I wiggled my way through, and next thing you know, I was in second behind Fogor, and then got through that lap. I got ahead of him because he was on hards, I was on mediums. And then I spun out in areas yesterday I've never spun out on that track, and I did it 3 times. Like, I don't get it. I don't know. I just wasn't on my game yesterday. So, but then, being it was so early in the race when I went off the track, and I still that sound when Folgore drove by, and he's like, "Ah, there he is." Didn't stop to check on me, make sure I wasn't injured. Kept on driving. But there were so many cars coming, I couldn't get back on the track right away because everyone was so condensed. So I hopped back on the track in like 11th or 12th. I was like, all right, I've got 3 hours. It's going to be tough, but I got 3 hours. I got to push. I don't have to go crazy, but I just got to run consistent. So, it wasn't my best showing, but again, to get up to second from where I was after my qualifying, and then this royal screw up, and then the screw up at the end. Screw up at the end pissed me off, but we're not there yet. So
I saw you when you spun off the track. I didn't realize until I watched the replay yesterday. I was watching through the replay, but I was going through there so quickly. Your name flashed above the car so quick. I didn't even know who it was. But I saw you kind of parked off there waiting for an opening to get back on. I didn't realize it was you. But when I watched the replay, I was like, oh yeah, okay, that was Junkai. But I did see you. I think Chaotica was behind or in front of me at that time. I don't remember, but
yeah, I didn't know if ghosting would take effect. And because when I was qualifying during GR3 races, I mean, people coming back on the track, I T-boned, I think it was Besso, and he wasn't ghosted, obviously. So I didn't want to be the culprit. And again, I knew we had 3 hours. So I was accepting my fate. And then at the same time, like, I hadn't, like, mentally, I honestly didn't think I was racing until literally that morning. I had messaged Anatole the night before. I was like, hey, dude, you got an open spot. I might be able to make it. I don't know. I said, I'm going to need a livery, though, like in a pinch. Can you tell me what you're using? And so he gave that to me, and I set it up next morning, and that was it. So don't shake your head. We were on the same
it's going to be flashed on the screen. You know what's going to be
flashed. I know. But hey, you know what? It helped that we were Team Ferrari. I got kicked off the team, but we practiced together. You stole some of my moves. You got up to 3rd place.
Did I? Did I? I stole from you. Okay.
Yeah.
So I had an interesting start because I went to a 9th to 11th or whatever it was. I was coming through like the pack, and it was complete and utter chaos. It's what I wanted to stay away from.
Yeah.
Initially, to begin with, but it was complete. I mean, there were some instances of 3 wide through some turns. I ended up bumping Glovis. Bumped him. Sorry, Glovis. Yeah, sorry. I forget who he was driving for. I forget which his sponsor was. I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't remember.
But other than that, I mean, once everything kind of settled out, it was like everybody kind of spaced out around the field, and there was a lot of maybe a battle here or there, but generally speaking, it was an hour to an hour and a half of just, for the mostly, just cruising around the track trying to maintain speed. What was your strategy?
I didn't have a strategy at all. Nothing whatsoever. And I will admittedly say this, the 3 of us, me, you, and Zen, were in a chat together because Zen was moving over. He didn't have a teammate. I was backing out because I got kicked out. And you guys continued to talk your strategy, which I didn't care. I wasn't paying attention, like whatever. I saw your strategy, and you both went with the strategy. I didn't duplicate your strategy. Not at all. You guys started on softs, like you talked about. I did not start on softs. I didn't deviate. I just stayed on mediums. I did not know what the strategy was going to be. I knew I was best on mediums. I was going to stay on mediums until I got about halfway through the race and saw what I was able to do with my lap times, see what other people were doing on lap times. I knew Folgore and Besso were doing about 14 to 15 laps on hards. I saw what their splits were. So I was kind of just like taking all that in and trying to figure out the back half. I even knew Folgore's strategy getting to the back half because of where he was sitting and then where he deviated from. I saw you were running 80% fuel and I was running 100% fuel. I was hoping that last 20% that I kept filling up to would give me a little bit of an advantage at the end when I didn't need to get as much fuel, which helped because Folgore was, I can't remember what the split was on fuel. It doesn't matter, but so I gained a couple seconds off of exiting the pits. So, but then he shortchanged himself, which would have played a part had I not screwed up. But I didn't have a strategy. I really was just running mediums until softs really were not going to be an option, honestly.
Not really, no. And the strategy that Zen and I had was to come out on softs again, get out front early, avoid the melee, come in, grab the mediums. When you come back out, you'll probably be in some free track and retake the lead or up towards the front when everybody else goes for their first pit.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, my screw up didn't work. But regardless, we ran mediums the entire rest of the race. And it wasn't until the end where I was calculating again, just like you. This isn't like GT3, GT4, where you can calculate this thing down. This is a long time. And so you get to the end and you're like, okay, yeah, the last stint looks like it's going to be 5 laps. We'll throw on the softs. We'll go for it.
Yeah, I was marking the hour. So I saw we were at lap 30 at the end of the hour. And then I saw, at the end of lap 2 hour stint, we were at 60. So I knew it was going to be 90. And I mean, it's simple math at that point when you're doing 10 laps. I did shortchange my start. I don't know if I was just too aggressive or if because I spun out, it kind of wore down the tire more. I also didn't mess with my brake balance until I saw I wasn't doing well with the tire wear. I only got 9 laps on the first stint. So I was like, all right, I got to get one of these laps back. So I picked the middle of the race. And I think you made a comment or Folgore did of like, hey, what happened? And I was having to nurse it. I think that lap took another 4 seconds or something like that, but I needed that extra lap to save for the end, which would have worked. Actually, it did work. Actually, I was on better tires. Even though I spun out, I was still able to maintain. So
Folgore changed his strategy as well. You could hear him on the radio. He said because we were going back and forth. It was me and then him, me and then him. I would lead, and then I would go into pits. He would pass me, and then he was like, "This is not working." And he vocalized it. I don't know if he intended to or not, but he was audibly pissed off, and he vocalized about screw it. I'm doing this. I got to change something up, and he did, and it worked for him because that change up. I think he was running a hard strategy, is what he was going hard, trying to maximize the fuel runs.
Yeah, it looked like it. That's what it appeared to be. But it was, if he had remained with that, it would, I believe, I don't know. We really don't know what it would have come out to be because I think it would have been 2 more stops for us, which is an extra 2 minutes. So,
well, this pit stop wasn't that long, miraculously.
Yeah.
Not as long as I was thinking it was going to be.
Yeah, I never really paid attention to it. I was just at the end of every 10 laps, I was like, oh, thank God, get in the pits.
Yep.
Did you rack up, besides your opening, did you rack up any other points, or not points, but penalty points anywhere else?
I don't think there was any. I don't think I served any penalties for anything
Yeah.
else other than just the false start violation. That was the
Yeah.
only thing. Yeah.
I was worried about that pit exit.
I had one spin on. I was worried about that exit too. I cannot believe I didn't get one on that. There was one spin I had on. It was lap 20 something. No, 70 something. It was like 73 or 72 something. I don't remember, but I was going through that big sweeper, and I just caught the little
Mm-hmm.
the green stuff on the edge, and as soon as I did, that was it. The car just went right around. I did like two 360s, hit the
Yep.
wall, the inside wall, and then ended up pointed back on the track. I was like, oh, okay, bang bang, let's go. Yeah, ready to go again.
I Yeah, I lost it on the turn before that, that little hitch to the left. And I've never spun out there. I've always run out to the rumble strip every single time. I didn't hit the green. I know it because I intentionally make sure I don't hit the green at that point. And I still spun out. And I was running traction 2 and sometimes 3, depending on where my tire wear was, and still spun out. So I don't know what it was. It was just a bad off day. It doesn't matter. What did you run a standard brake bias? Like, what did you end up on? Did you run 0?
Full back,
Full
full
back?
rear. Yep, 5 to the rear.
I
I
ran
found
4 to
it
the
just,
front.
huh?
I ran 4 to the front.
Interesting. I found that it just made trail braking a bit easier for me.
It does.
Just around the corners and everything. Um, you know,
And I didn't change the brake bias until my second pit stop when I saw my tire wear. So,
I changed that direct from the start. As a matter of fact, I was messing around with that when I forgot to hold the handbrake.
see, screw around and find out.
Basically, yeah.
But yeah, it was good. I think I'm good on F1 cars for a little bit.
I am too. That's between the Sunday Cup and then
Yeah.
this. I'm good for the.
Plus
I'm good.
practice. Yeah, I'm good. I'm definitely good.
So there's also been discussion we've been talking about as the next one. We have to come up with what the next one's going to be. There's been several suggestions. I know I made a couple. We were talking about actually before this one even. This was the original second race was going to be a Ford versus Ferrari, and that was one we really want to do. I don't want to give up on. It's looking like if we cannot balance them, that it'll have to be a teams. Anatole had a pretty good way to deal with that.
Mm-hmm.
That might be the direction we have to go. But there was other things. There was suggestions of radicals.
Mm-hmm.
That would be fun. There was
Could you do
GR1.
3 hours? I think Besso said radicals around Laguna. Could you do 3 hours around Laguna?
I could absolutely go 3 hours around Laguna.
Okay. God, that'd be
What about 3 hours around Daytona?
no. Hell no. No. I heard everyone just voted no.
Oh,
Except for everyone voted no.
collectively, they all just let out.
I personally like the GR1 old school cars around Le Mans.
GR1s at Le Mans. That is a favorite. It is a top choice.
Let's just do one make Mazda 787s, no chicane.
We might. We have to put it to a vote, and the drivers who have participated are the ones that get to vote on this. So we're going to come up with a series just like last time. This this hasn't been established when this is going to be, although I suspect this is going to be around the holidays, somewhere around that New Year, maybe a little after, maybe a little bit before, who knows, somewhere in that dead zone between things that
Let's
we've.
do 12:30 a.m. January 1st. Guess who wins? Floody.
Bloody, bloody,
Yeah.
bloody. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Comes in, sets down a smoking hot lap. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. So we are gonna. There will be continued discussion. There will be some polls coming. For those of you who did the first one, you remember how we did that, developing the second, although it changed around because of reasons. But we'll be doing it very similar. You guys get input. Everybody gets input into this. And if you want to participate, again, the requirements will be the same. The rules pretty much will be the same. And we'll just have to narrow down the car and the track and the little parameters and that type of thing. So that will be coming. There will be another one, another chance to participate. We're
Mm.
going to keep the series up. I like it, don't you?
No, I did too. I do as well. I
Yeah,
do as well.
it's a bit different. The only other thing really that's happened that's of consequence or significance since our last drink with a driver is I recall we have a fantasy football league which I don't participate in, again for reasons, but yeah, we did have a selection for it. So why don't you tell us how that went?
Didn't we talk about this or no? Yeah. So I mean, we had a bunch of well, I would say a bunch of Volkswagens. We did have all Volkswagens. Everyone was in a bug except for me. I still don't know when I dropped an engine in that Volkswagen bug and left everything else stock. And then the used car lot was out of them altogether. So I got about 10 minutes worth of shit, which admittedly I expect. You know, Slug has nothing to say though, since he modifies everything and can never race half the time anyway. But no, that was hilarious. Like, I think I was hurting more after that race than the 3-hour endurance yesterday. Like, my sides were hurting. I was laughing so freaking hard. Everybody was. It was kind of comical watching Victor run around, and he was pushing on people, but he wasn't doing it as aggressively as you guys, who apparently have some built up anger somewhere. Volgor would come over and he'd be like, and then just kind of nudge you. Your ass just out of nowhere. You T-boned the hell out of someone. I can't remember who it was. You remember who it
I
was?
don't remember either.
You T-boned someone. I mean, it was gruesome. You hit Joey Bags. He spun out like a dozen times on that one hit. And then Zen played some mind games with me. I was in the back because that's how the whole thing went. Like, you would get to the front and then you were at the back. And it was just like this rotation of front, back, because you're just getting destroyed. I was in the back. Zen was in the back in his truck and he starts bumping me like very graciously, like bump. And I'm like, all right, yeah, dude, I can do this. He's getting me faster and faster to catch up to the pack. And then there was that hairpin and he laid off. And I was like, all right, so I'm going to be able to make this. And then he just crushed me, dude. He got me going so fast and then just pancaked me into the wall. No, there's no way surviving that. But I went from, yeah, this guy's helping me out, to complete wasted. This guy stabbed me in the back. It was hilarious.
I hit your Samba bus so hard that it came off the ground.
Oh yeah, no, on that front straight before the first turn, you see the whole suspension just lift. And then I'm weaving through everyone, and then I lost control. Like, there was no holding onto it whatsoever. And then your ass, last turn, last lap. I wasn't in a great spot to begin with, but I was at least better than what I was. Coming around that corner, and all I see was the the bumper of your truck, and I'm like, son of a bitch. And you just lurched out at me. You let so many people by. And that's why I threw the flag on targeting and kicked you out of the game. But at that point, it was pointless. So Yeah. Yeah. I lost to Chaotica tonight on fantasy football, and I have you to thank for it, for putting me in a bad position. So thanks for that.
You're welcome.
That and every team I touched yesterday sucked, so it doesn't matter. But yeah, dude, that was so much fun. I was laughing so hard. Everybody was laughing so hard, especially the guys that have never done it before. Like, Joey, we grew up together. He's not in the league. He's just in there because he's the best friend of mine. And to hear him gasping for air, like, just made me feel better about it because it was awesome. So yeah, it was a
Yeah.
good time.
Yeah, we will do it again. It's going to be that might become the standard process for selection order on things that are selective that don't involve the entire uh, Discord. It could be that it's an excellent way of sorting through problems, and
Damn right it is.
it's a hell of a lot of fun. So
That's this is how we should resolve incident reports, right? Two
yes,
people, right? You get on the track with a bunch of trucks. Whoever gets across the finish line first, their side is won and
yeah,
awarded to
one
them.
lap. You only have to do one lap.
Right.
It's you and the other guy,
Yep.
and a
12,
bunch of trucks. Whoever
12
wins,
trucks. Good luck.
yeah, that's who's right. The other person gets a penalty point
Mm-hmm. Or no penalty point.
or no penalty point,
Yeah, that's
whichever.
how we should solve that. That's easy. Yeah. Call
Yeah,
it medieval times.
yeah, yeah. Maybe that'll be next season's new rule. Who knows?
Yeah.
Speaking of what's coming up, so let's recap what's on the agenda coming up. Next is going to be the Club and Cup 500, which is going to wrap up season 2.3
on the 17th, which is my anniversary. I'm in the doghouse so bad.
Right, and I think we know who's going to dominate that one.
We don't know. I mean, we obviously, we could talk about it being Zen. We could talk about it being Zen, but you just don't know.
We don't know. It's gonna be interesting either way. And then the 24th, what everybody has been long awaiting for, and I know I am, and I know you are super excited for, and that is GT3, GT4 qualifications.
Mm-hmm.
And that's going to take the place of an entire race Sunday, and for a whole lot of reasons, because that's qualification day, team
Yep.
selection day. It's going to be a big day for everybody, and it's going to set next season of GT3 and GT4 World Challenge into gear. So that I know is on the top of everybody's calendar. And then after that, on 10/1, October 1st, we start the next season of Sunday Cup. So that will be a race designed by the winner of whoever wins season 2.3. So
Mm-hmm.
if you're one of those top contenders or the top contender, you need to start thinking about it, because we're going to need your rule sheet. We're going to need to put that out in time for everybody to buy and prep the car ahead of October 1st. So season 2.4 will lead off with the season winners race, whatever that involves and whatever that entails. So everybody will just have to wait and see, including us. And then October 8th, again, another big date for you to put down on your calendars. That is round one of GT3 and GT4's next season.
You've been testing cars yet?
Nope.
I haven't been testing per se, like the way I typically test, but I have been running dailies in cars I typically don't drive. So I haven't ran any dailies or qualifyings or anything in anything I've driven already or is like the meta car for that track. I'm trying to find a car that is not often picked. I'm going to try and challenge myself next season if my team will allow.
I have driven other things. I have kind of, now that you mention it, done not with the intention of that, but I did drive the Genesis. I kind of like the Genesis, the GR3 Genesis. Haven't really messed around with the GR4 cars very much.
I have.
Um,
I ran some of the GR4 dailies. I think that's the easiest way to really feel like what you're going to be contending with, you know. Um, it's easy to get out there and just look at fuel consumption, tire wear, and speed, top speed, whatever. But yeah, I don't know. Like I just like racing with some of the different vehicles and seeing. So it's going to be interesting for sure.
it will be. It will be. Well, I think that just about wraps up this episode. Anything else that you got of the story?
No, this episode brought to you by. I didn't name it. That way we don't have to pay for anything, right? I don't know if that works that way.
I don't know. We probably get demonetized for so many reasons. It's just not even irrelevant anymore.
Oh yeah, I got a Gryffindor shirt on, so I'll probably get.
Ah, yeah. What is that, like Harry Potter or something?
Ah, I'm proud of you. Look at you.
Good guess.
Yeah. You
All
would
right.
not be in Gryffindor. I'm just telling you that.
What?
You would not be in Gryffindor. I'll tell you that.
I wouldn't make their membership or something.
No, there's a sorting hat that decides which one you go into. You'd be Hufflepuff.
No idea what that means.
No, you truly would be Slytherin though, because you're an asshole. Slytherin's assholes. They're smart, but they're assholes. So on that,
On that
I'm
note,
good.
a Slytherin Dorth or whatever it was.
Just let it go. Just stop.
It's fine. Join us next time, and we will see all you guys. Keep an eye out in all the forums for all the updates, things to come. Keep an eye on the schedules, and keep sending us your recommendations for where we go with the next endurance race, because it's not far away, and we need to get planning on it. So keep those suggestions coming. Until then, we'll talk to you guys again on the next Drink with the Driver.
Good night.
See you guys.
Later.